Today's episode of the Just Keep Swimming podcast is brought to you by Audible. Audible is an online audiobook and podcast service offering over 10,000 books and the ability to listen to your favorite podcasts, including the Just Keep Swimming podcast. I personally use Audible all the time and suggest you take a listen to Intentional Living by John C. Maxwell. In this book, Mr. Maxwell shares his story on how he was able to live a noble and purposeful life and gives you tips and tricks so you can do the same. So please start your 30-day free trial now at www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast, all lowercase. Again, that is www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast. And if you have any more questions or concerns for the Just Keep Swimming podcast, you're always welcome to reach out to us on Facebook or at Instagram at justkkeepswimming_podcast, or you can email us at jkspodcast702@gmail.com. And with that out the way, let's dive into it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. This is your friend, your boy, your host, Mr. Adrian Jackson, and we back at it again with another great episode for you. And you already know who I got with me. It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Mr.
Toi.
Ooh, smooth.
Yeah.
Butter today.
He went with the classic one today.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
All right,
oh,
classic.
yes.
Wow.
Hey, because that new beat fire, bro. That shit is not.
Yeah, that Harley Quinn Paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was fire, bro. I like that one.
I was like, and the art for it was kind of tight, and then just, I don't know, I just love that ethereal fucking playground, like playhouse type vibe.
Yeah.
It's just always mysterious, it's mystical and shit, so.
Yeah. No, and with the name on it too, it made it perfect. I was like, oh, that fits perfectly.
Yeah.
You know.
I always like how I can pick up what you were trying to show off in in each track.
What would you say for this one?
It was the panning, bro.
The panning, yeah.
'Cause, that panning was nasty.
Yeah.
Fucking it was my homie Greg. Oh wait, hold on. Let me introduce our guest.
Our guest for the day.
So,
you already heard him talking.
Yeah, you already know who it is. The Big G, Mr. Duke Dichotomy, Mr. Gerald Higgins. We back at it again. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I love being here. I always love chopping it up with y'all. So.
Yeah, welcome back, bro. Glad to have you back for sure. Thank you for coming on such short notice.
But you already know, when one shoe goes down, you go and grab another one.
Exactly.
But fucking I had Greg over, right? And he asked me to help out with a certain track of his that he got going on. I won't out it yet because it's supposed to be a surprise for somebody else too. Mm-hmm. But I was looking at my stuff. I was all just telling him the other plugins, and I was like, bro, I forgot I downloaded this plugin. That makes things help. I should have been using this on the other 2 tracks that I made. I'm like, you know what? Let me do it. And it made the panning stupid. The time switches and the elongation was tight. I was like, yeah, no, this go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's tight, yeah. So everybody make sure y'all go check out that beat, man.
Please.
If you trying to rap on it, you already know. He'll let you jump on it.
Please, I'll record you.
I'll record you. Fire, homie.
Nah.
Yes, fellas. So we have a great episode for us today, man. I think I have a pretty cool topic that we can go over that I think will be pretty interesting, make everybody think for sure. So this morning I was listening to a really good TED Talk, actually. She did great on it. And the basis of the TED Talk was, I'm not difficult, I'm different. And I think that right there would be a great topic for today's episode. Definitely being that we've been talking about, love yourself recently, it's okay. Last week's episode, you're human too, and I feel that, I feel that'll go great. Definitely because, a lot of times in life, people get mad at you calling, oh, you're so difficult. And he's like, nah, bro, I just think a little different than you do, So I kind of just wanted to touch on some things and, get you guys' experience with that thought, you feel me?
Right.
Yes, sir. So my first question is when I say that, you're not difficult, you're different, what does that make you guys think of?
I don't know, I guess just how the experience of relating to certain people. I know that like when you usually come into like a social situation, you got to see how their communication style in a sense, and sometimes it may be different, and it's hard for you to make that connection. And for some people, it's like it's an irritant, like the way somebody speaks, or you know, how fast they speak, how slow they speak, or like the type of topics that or how the flow of conversation kind of usually goes.
Right.
And usually that's just kind of like rubs people the wrong way before they, you know, decide to take a step back and like realize that it's a different human that you're talking to begin with. Right.
I agree with that.
Yeah, kind of touching on that. It's like being different is more of just, it's almost kind of just how you're brought up, or like not even necessarily brought up, but like the certain lifestyle that you live, or like the certain circumstances behind like how you grew up and like how you operate. Because like if you come from like a strict family or something like that, like kids are supposed to be seen, not heard type of energy or whatever like that, like they're not going to be as open and like outgoing and things like that. So like if you're sparking a conversation with them, like you'll be like, it may seem like you're starting the conversation every time, but like that's just how they were. Like they're not initiating conversations and stuff as much. So it's not that they're being difficult. It's just that's who they are.
Right, exactly. Sorry, my throat's dry as hell. But no, I fully agree, and I think you guys touched on something great. Definitely the idea of communication with somebody that's, we think quote unquote is difficult to communicate with, but it's like no, they just have a different communication style than we're used to. Like you know, one of my favorite examples is always where you talk to somebody and it's like you waiting to get your word in, you ready to jump in the conversation, but they just keep going.
Yeah. And
then when you do throw your word in, it seems like they just run over your words and they keep trying to finish their thought. And it's like, okay, I have to learn how to communicate with this person differently. You know what I'm saying? I can't expect to communicate with this person the way that I communicate with Dom or communicate with Gerald. You know what I'm saying? Like we just sat here for a whole hour and a half telling stories with each other and stuff like that, and it was smooth communication. But there's always times when you sit with somebody like, whew, I should not ask this person the story, because they're gonna have to get the whole story out from start to finish, plus their thoughts behind it, plus this, that, and the third. And it's like, you know, you feel like, man, this person's a difficult person to deal with, but it's like, no, they're just a little different. They were raised different, you know, how Gerald said. Maybe this person didn't have a chance to tell his side of the story all the time, so when he gets the opportunity to actually tell his side of the story, he goes tells it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, I agree with that one. So definitely leading to my first questions then is, have you guys ever been in a situation where somebody has called you difficult and you want to be like, I'm not being difficult, I'm just different, bro?
I would say more so like earlier on in like school. I would say probably like middle school.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, so
I was waiting to say that line. I don't know why.
So,
do tell.
I don't know. Middle school is just like, I felt like more of like an outcast just on like the way people kind of treated me in a sense. I would say no. I mean, like I would say one of my friends who, you know, we kind of got closer in like high school with like a group of friends too, but I don't know, it just felt like I was just always kind of labeled as the weird kid just because my interests were different, and then I would like to talk about certain things, or how like stereotypically for guys they would want to talk about sports and stuff like that, but I'm like, I don't really care. I don't watch sports. I don't keep up with that. Yeah, I'll play it, but I mean, all of the nitty gritty of what other people are doing, like I don't really
care for that.
Yeah,
so I don't care about the players and stuff. Yeah.
It felt like, you know, either A, I was always talking about stuff people weren't interested in, or then B, if they had got on a topic, it was like, okay, well, I don't have anything to say, and then they're expecting me to say something or wanting me to say stuff, but it's like, I don't really have shit to talk about. And it felt like it was just like always like a strain or disconnect, or I would hear from somebody else that's like, oh yeah, you're weird or something like that. That's kind of just my experience with it.
Yeah, I'd say I have kind of like a similar experience, but it's more towards like my mom's side of the family. So a lot of times I would go out to Arizona, or I'd go out to California for Christmas to meet up with my mom, and then we would go to Arizona to meet up with her brother and then his wife and kids, so my cousins and all that. But there's just always just so much fucking family drama and shit going on over there. And for me, it's like, yo, I'm trying to relax. It's Christmas break and all this type of stuff. Like, it's supposed to be a happy time and all this type of stuff. And like in the earlier years, it was. But then like once him and his wife started breaking up and like other people getting into like the fold of the family and stuff like that, shit just got weird fast. And it was just always a bunch of family drama and shit like that. It just wasn't enjoyable. So like, I'm not gonna cause more of a problem and be like, man, fuck this shit, like throw a fit or whatever. So like, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything at all. So I'll just be posted up on the couch all day just watching TV and shit. And I'm like, the only thing that I would request was just watching the Laker game on Christmas Day. That's all I would want to do. And shit like that. So then like my mom would always be like, oh, yo, honey, are you all right? All this type of stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm just chilling. Just trying to mind my own fucking business type shit. So that, and then also like, there is a time where I choose to be difficult on purpose, but it's mainly to prove a point,
right?
For the most part, like unless it's the head assery, but there's the head assery. That's fun and games, but like sometimes I just like play devil's advocate to the extreme just to like prove a point to certain people. Right. And like my mom will tell me that I do that shit all the time, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, but I mean it's to prove a point.
Right. No, and you know what? I agree with you, bro. I love being devil's advocate. Like, I love playing that role. Like, so I think I hate to say that, but I do that at work a lot. I don't try to be difficult, you know, but like you said, it's like, I need you to think a little differently. You know what I'm saying? Because you're stuck in this one mindset right now. I need you to switch your mindset. And sometimes the only way for me to switch that mindset is to be difficult. You know what I'm saying? Be difficult, but it's like, no, I'm not difficult. I'm just being different. Like, I'm thinking differently than you do, because there's a lot of times where, you know, we have like team meetings or whatever, like full meetings or whatever. And it was just like, I can tell people would get upset because definitely upper management, because I'll ask a question and then they would be like, well, shit, I'm just asking the question, you know, but I'm different. I'm difficult because I don't sit there and just take it like everybody else do. It's like, shit, if I have a question, which is, I believe is a really good question, I'm going to ask that bad boy, you know, but then it kind of flip-flop because it's like my coworker started to praise me for that difference. You know what I'm saying? The idea that Adrian is different, he'll speak up. You know what I'm saying? They be like, man, they literally walk up to me, I can't do that, I can't say that. And I'm like, shit, what's scared of? You know what I'm saying? What's you scared of? Shit, I was raised by Don Jackson. I'm gonna say what I gotta say.
I think you could almost say that, like, being, like, just from your example there, like, being difficult is almost like being different and then either like ramping it up or like understanding or like being conscious of that you are trying to be difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to ramp up that difference to like a little bit of an extreme, to not saying asking questions extreme, but like a lot of times like that's what makes people difficult. It's like, yo, you know damn well you could like compromise on some shit, or like you can shut the fuck up for 2 minutes while I talk, you know, something like that, but you're just choosing not to prove a point.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's where I mastered my level at, to the point of I know not when to push too far, but I know when the push needs to be taken. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to take that little bitty push, you know. But yeah, no, I do feel that way. You know, it's like I said, sometimes like, damn, am I difficult? But no, I'm not difficult. I'm just asking the questions that nobody's willing to ask. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
trying to get a different outcome. You know, and I think one thing that I learned recently on my trip up to Reno when I went with the kids and everything was, damn, I can't remember her name. But one of the presenters, like, she was an older lady. She'd been in UNR, I'm sure, her whole life. But she was presenting, and she was like, being at Reno will really help you find your voice and speak up on matters you want to speak up on. And I was like, when she said that, I was like, that's why I'm the way I am at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's something that matters to me, I'm going to speak up on it, you know? I'm not going to sit back and just take it like people who didn't go to UNR, quote unquote, would do, you know what I'm saying? So I think, like I said, that makes me different. I'm like, well, I don't feel like I'm difficult. I'm just a little different human being than more normal people are, you know? Right.
But, yeah, no, I found that really interesting. So then on the flip side, have you guys been dealing with somebody that you consider difficult, but now with hindsight, as Gerald would say, it's they're just different?
I'm going to keep confidentiality, which is rare a little bit, but there is this one person that that I kind of deal with on a daily basis, and it just seems like it kind of reminds me of somebody else that I also had a close like friendship relationship with, but it was like they just seem to just talk over everybody. Like they'll ask a question and then cut you off in the middle of the question, of you answering that question, and then talk over it or try to like teach you something about whatever it is. And it's like, yo, like, why are you talking over it? And there was one situation like a couple of weeks ago where like I'm talking with somebody else, and just listening to the background, what's going behind me, because they're doing it to like somebody else, and I'm looking at the person's face, and I see them realize the same thing that I realize on a daily basis, and then I just start laughing because it's like, I was like, I'm so glad you see it too, because like, it's just crazy, bro. It's just crazy. But I think last week or the week before, I was made to go to this certain training, and it was like this diversity training, and it made me think about this person a little bit differently, especially since I found out like something else a little bit later on about like their past. And it was like, okay, that kind of makes sense, and given like who they are and where they are now, like I kind of see.
You can
understand. Yeah, it's still a little bit aggravating, and like I haven't necessarily found out a way to kind of get around it in a different light, but it gave a little bit more compassion to not realize they're necessarily being difficult. They may not be realizing it, but it's just because of their differences that it just makes it a little bit like of a obstacle to kind of get around and like interact with.
Right. No, and that's deep you said that, because that just reminds me back to the interview we did with our TBI Iron Man, because he had the traumatic brain injury, and he was talking about how the whole time I'm interviewing dude, I interview the way I interview. Sometimes I ask 2 questions at one time. And then he was literally like, yeah, one thing to help me out is not to ask 2 questions at one time. And I was like, ooh. I don't think it's being difficult because you kept asking me to repeat a question, but it's like, nah, he can't remember 2 questions at one time. He can only focus on one question, literally only focus on one question at one time. So it's like, so I have to switch up my style to help him better communicate his message, So I think that's beautiful though, bro. The idea, like you said, you found something that's like, this made me understand you better, not communicate better. That's beautiful. What about you, G?
So mine's like more of just like on some silly shit. So it's the homie Sam. So when we were playing Overwatch, right? So when we were playing ranked, he would play tank, and then I would play support, and I would be playing Moira, and he would play like Sigma or whoever. This motherfucker never wanted to like tank damage from my perspective. Like he just didn't play tank the way that I thought he should play tank.
The tank should play tank.
Yeah. And so it was hilarious when I got ranked higher than him, even though we won the same matches. And it was like a significant margin too, which was hilarious. But eventually we got to the point where like we were just being so toxic to each other, because I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you selling us today? He's just like, well, maybe if I had better healing and all this type of shit. It's like, yeah, maybe if you just didn't put yourself in compromising positions, and then it would just go back and forth the whole time. And then randomly we're just like, all right, fuck it. We're gonna put everything to the side. We're gonna say fuck it, full restart on our gaming experience. Right. And then we ended up switching roles, and then we ended up playing better as the other roles, basically.
And I could attest that like they were giving each other compliments. It was like, you know what, bro? I like you playing tank. You know what? I've never enjoyed you playing this, but this I've never enjoyed you this much playing DPS tank.
It got to a really good spot, and it's just like it took us to the point where it's like, yo, we just gotta switch something here, because we're both being difficult as fuck.
Nah, that's deep though. I love it though. Like you said, you have to take a step back and be like, let's switch this up a little bit. Let's do something different.
Right.
Because I think the other thing that helps us out too is like, especially from me going from support to healer, right, and then me complaining, or from support to tank, is after seeing how he played tank and everything, and us getting fucking like dog walked out of every match. Like I knew like what I had to do like with our team comp and like the people that we have on our team to like be successful. Because then, especially with Sam, like he likes just being out on his own and everything, so that works for him playing damage. And then when we have two good supports like helping me out, being able to tank all the damage and all that type of shit, like it just worked out beautifully. Yeah, it just worked out.
So I was gonna say, we kind of gave examples of, you know, initially viewing somebody as difficult and then like realizing something that, like, you know, they're not necessarily difficult, they're different.
Right.
I was gonna bring in like just another example of like, I mean, to this day it just seems like it was just, they were just being difficult. Is like, I would say my previous relationship where it was just like, it was just always something like wrong, or they would always be acting a certain way or reacting a certain way, and like they know how they should act or they know what they shouldn't do, but they still continue to do it even after several talks and knowing how it affects the world around them.
Right.
And I feel like that's like the key difference, is when you realize like, you know, they're not really putting forth the effort to not be difficult, even though they're being difficult. Like they admit it, or even when they don't admit it, but you can kind of just see that they're just, you know,
they want to be difficult.
They want to be difficult, and they're not doing anything to kind of like step out that bound, you know. And I forgot my train of thought, but like that's just a general gist. It was like, you know, I feel like there's a certain point where you need to be cognizant of how things come, like, are reacting around you, and choosing to redirect that and do something else. It's kind of like switching from continuously being insane, because, you know, you keep doing the same thing over and over and getting the same result, and then switching to just trying something different and trying to be different. When you're being difficult, you're just continuously being the same thing, as opposed to being different from like your previous things, or just different from other people, or different situations.
Right, exactly. So like that gives me back to the example that the girl in TED Talk used. She was talking about driving. You know, some people are naturally slow drivers. You know, they drive slowly, and it's like, you know, you swerve around and get mad and flip them off. Fuck you, bitch, you drive slow. But then it's like, they just drive slow. You know, you get in the car and realize, damn, they just drive slow. But then, like you said, on the flip side, the driver need to be like, I'm a slow driver. Let me stay in the right lane.
That's the thing. You know, there's certain rules and regulations on the fucking road. If you are driving 5 under the speed limit, you better not be in the left lane on the highway, bro.
Yes, please don't do that. Get into your lane.
Even the medium, like even if you're in the middle lane, I'm fine with that because I can go around, but like not the left lane.
That should be pissing me off on the 215 when it's just a 2-lane.
2-lane highway, you still driving slow on the left hand side.
Because when I see a fucking 16-wheeler on the right lane and this motherfucker's going 5 or staying the same speed or slower than the 16-wheeler, but not like making the gap so people can get around, it's like, bro, what are you doing? And then you got a nice ass car that's at least 2016, so I know that's a V6. I know it's a turbocharged. And I know you can move, bro. Like, you're not moving. Why'd you get this and you're not moving?
Right, exactly.
Well, one thing I was gonna add to what you were saying, Donovan, was it's almost like you need a little bit of just empathy for it, like to go from being difficult to just being different, you know, because like you can have your like way of going about shit, but like if you're not aware of how what you're doing is affecting other people, or if you are aware of it and are choosing not to care, that's when you're being difficult. Like you need to have empathy to be able to get out of the difficultness of yourself, but then you also have to just follow through with it as well.
No, and I truly understand that. I truly understand that, because like you said, it's like, you know you're frustrating somebody and they call you out on the frustration. I understand. If that's just the way you are, I understand that. But you just using the term, oh, that's just the way I am, is just saying that you better change around me, I'm not changing around you. And then that's when like the smugness starts to get into the air, because it's like, and
it's like care. It's like when they know they have the ability to change,
like, and they choose not to.
Because like there's certain things that there are certain things of that's just who you are. Like we were speaking, like I spoke in the last episode. Like you need to accept you for you. You need to, because you can only be you. But like recognize that like there's some things that affect the world around you and affect yourself, that you can change, and you need to be able to make that change.
Right.
And yeah, go ahead.
Because one thing I was gonna say, like, just to kind of emphasize it a little bit, is so for me, I like having my plans like set ahead of time. Like I'm like, if you're hitting me up the day of to go do some shit, I'm probably just gonna say no, just because that's how I operate, right? But like, I'm also aware that like if there's some people that just don't have a lot of like prep time, or like they don't know everything ahead of time like I do.
They're not preppers.
Yeah, like they just don't function like that or whatever. So what I say to them is like, hey, like I'm not gonna go this time, but like the next time or whatever, like if I can do it, I'll just show up, you know. But like for me, it just takes a lot out of me mentally. So it's like I'm not gonna do that every single time, because that's just not who I am. But I will make the effort to like be able to come on short notice for some things, you know. But then like the other thing is too, it's like you have to compromise and like sometimes give me some heads up, just so then I'm comfortable as well in certain situations.
Like an example as of today, because I hit you up today to come onto the episode, but I was like, I also had no pressure, bro. Like for real, no pressure. Like I understand it's short notice. Yeah,
and then but for me too, it's like, all right, yeah, I'm tired as hell, but like I can do it, and I know it's like pretty chill. I've done it before, so it's like for me, I'm not gonna stress about it. It's not a lot of stress.
I don't even come with a speech and write a paper for it. Nah, I love the example you just gave, Gerald, because you just brought about. I had a different story in mind, but you just brought out a beautiful story that I think would be a perfect example of this whole thing. So a few years ago, me and my cousins went to Tennessee, right? And I thought that, so you know, me personally, they all talking about while we playing dominoes, of course, niggas drinking, whatever. And, you know, they were like, man, let's go to Tennessee, let's go to Nashville, blah, blah, go see fam. I'm like, bet, I'm down. What's the days? They pick the days out, you know what I'm saying? I always wait for the first person to get their ticket before I buy my ticket first, because niggas flake. But then my cousin got his ticket. I was like, oh, bet, cool. Gave me the flight number and all that shit, so I got my ticket, right? So then now I'm just sitting here, like, the trip getting closer. I'm like, okay, so where are we staying at? I asked my cousin who's planning the trip, where are we staying at? I don't know. What we need to bring? I don't know. I'm like, do you know anything? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, you know, and that's when my Gerald kicks in on the idea of like, I need to know what's about to happen before I go out here. I'm not just gonna go out here and say, let's blow with the wind. Like, I need an idea. I need to know what outfits to pack, what to pack. I'm about to be out here for a whole 4 days. Like, I need to figure out what's going on.
Especially when they initiated the trip, like they're planning it.
Exactly, you know, and then my other cousins, you know, the ones in Tennessee, they hyped up, yeah, fam, can't wait to see Wooty Whoop. So then, you know, I was getting irritated because I felt everybody was being so difficult. So I'm sitting here like, man, this is terrible. So then they had a group chat going, so I was like, yeah, fam, I'm gonna give me an Airbnb. And my cousin's like, what are you talking about? The one in Tennessee. I'm like, no shit, nigga, I don't know where I'm staying at. So he called me, he's like, man, what's the problem? And I was like, honestly, fam, I have nothing to know what the plan. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know if I'm playing club attire. I know it's a football game. Am I bringing athletic attire? Like, I don't know where I'm staying at. I don't know nothing. How we getting around? Do we need a rental car? He was like, damn, they ain't tell you nothing. I was like, don't nobody know nothing. He was like, well, shit, you staying with me. Mom's got a car. We going here, going this, come as fly as possible with some dress down clothes. He started breaking it down to me. And then it was just like, beautiful. That's what I needed. You know what I'm saying? I was being difficult, but that's because I'm different, because I'm like, I need to know the plan. I'm not about to just go out there and just spur the moment and just, you know, just wing the shit. Like, even though it's a vacation, I'm supposed to be relaxing. I don't want to wing that still. At the end of the day, I still want to be somewhat prepared. But then, like I said, my other little cousin, I thought he was being difficult, but he's just different because he didn't care what the hell was about to happen. He just wanted to go to Nashville. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say this, but sorry, Mel. But beautiful example was we got out there, this nigga only brought a carry-on bag. We all brought suitcases. And turns out, you know what I'm saying, we went to a day party one time, club that night, next day we here, next night we here, next day we here. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, you needed 5 outfits to be out here. And you stuck trying to rearrange the same outfit. You had 2 outfits with you, 1 outfit if that. You know? So it's like, but that right there really helped me out. Like, okay, you know, we are on 2 different pages. We're just 2 different people, you know. They think I'm being difficult right now, but that's because I'm a planner. You know what I'm saying? I need no step by step, you know. I'm thinking he's being difficult. He don't know nothing, but he's just different because he's just spur of the moment. I just want to go with the flow and just see the family, whatever. You know, but I thought that would be a prime example for that whole conversation.
Because I was going to say, like, honestly, it was just like, why didn't I? If they sound like they already had a plan, but they didn't say anything. It was just like, oh, yeah, let's go to Nashville or Tennessee. It was Nashville.
Nashville, yeah.
Nashville, yeah. Let's go to Nashville, and didn't speak about the plan in his head.
But you know what though, bro? It's some people that travel like that. You know what I'm saying? Like some people just literally just want to go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? They don't want the plan. You know what I'm saying? They don't want a plan. They just want the plan is get on the plane, be there. After this, we here, baby. What we doing?
Yeah, you just go there and figure it out.
Yeah, and it's people like that, and I'm like, I'm not that type though. Yeah. I need to know what I'm doing. Like I hate when I go to the football field and it's just thrown on me. Like I'm used to it now because there's just a different type of organization. But I hate going out there and be like, all right, what's today's plan? Yeah. What am I doing today? Because then when the unplanned stuff comes up, that's when I get irritated. Because like, man, you didn't tell me this. I was mentally prepared for this, and now all of a sudden I get mentally prepared for that part of it. Yeah. You know. But yeah, and that's just how it happens. Like another example would be my coworkers. Definitely my bosses. I don't know how they work like this. Every time I go in their monitor and they be like, oh yeah, show me how to do this. They have 40 tabs open up in their Google Sheet on one screen and 30 on the other. I'm like, how do you work? Like, it's no way you can work this clutter. Like, it's no way. I'll lose my mind on how many tabs you got to open right here. Yeah. So, like, half the time, like, I'm trying to go through a tab. Like, you know what? You just take me to this tab. Because when you get to this tab, I'll show you what to do when you get there. But I'm not trying to figure out where this tab is. Yeah. But, you know, that's what I'm thinking. They're being like, y'all are some difficult people. But nah, they're just different. They can work in clutter.
I have another one that, like, it's a computer thing, too. So, anytime my dad wants me to show him something on the computer, like, I have to tell him, like, step by step on how to do all this shit, right? Mm-hmm. But for me, it's like, I don't know it step by step, like, right away all the time, right? Yeah. So, like, say I'm trying to figure out, like, create a folder or something and, like, put a bunch of files into a folder. Like, I can normally just do it or, like, figure it out, but I gotta do that first so that I can explain the steps to him,
Step by step, yo.
But he gets impatient sometimes because, like, I'll start doing it. And he's like, yo, wait, hold on, what did you do? I'm like, don't worry about it yet. I'm gonna show you how to do it again. I'm just doing it so I can refresh my memory so that I can actually teach you how to fucking do this. And so, like, that's the one thing that'll piss me off is, like, because then I have to show him step by step every single time. It's like, bruh, just give me a second to figure it out first because I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I can do it. Right. I just got to figure it out first because I don't have to do it, like, on an everyday basis.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel that.
I was going to say, I would say, kind of speaking on that, what I noticed different about me is I'm such a visual, tactile learner. So when people start telling me directions, and then they're just going quick, like, oh yeah, then you do this, or first you do this and that, and then that, and I was like, whoa, hold on, let me process that first so I can figure out, okay, all right, now I can attack this here. Yeah. But it's like, yo, you're speaking too fast. Mm-hmm. You're giving too many points, and I don't have enough to catch up yet. And it's like, yo, slow down. But that's just how I am. But then, like, teaching other people, it's like I go kind of into detail and kind of give, like, the different possibilities, but sometimes I just kind of have to realize who I'm dealing with. And it's like, okay, well, this one just kind of works in a straight line. They don't care about the other stuff. But then some other people, they do get confused. So it's like, okay, I do have to kind of spread out and, like, okay, you do this given these certain situations, and then you do this next step during, if you did that step, then you got to do this. But then understand that, like, that's not always going to be the case.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, and I truly understand that right there. Like, you have to figure out who you're explaining something to. Mm-hmm. You know, like, when I was doing homework with Anaya and Mariah, I couldn't teach Mariah the same way I taught Anaya. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or my mentee. I had to teach them all three differently. You know what I'm saying? Because they all learn different. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mentee, he needs an example, and he needs a different type of way the story is being told compared to, you know, Mariah, who she just needs to see the steps. Mm-hmm. And then once she sees it, she's good. Compared to Anaya, she has to move through. And then you have to stop her right when she messes up, because then that's when she'll realize, oh, this is where I'm messing up at, because she will not see the mistake until you go through it with her, and then boom, right there, stop, right there, stop, there you go, right there. That's wrong. Oh, okay, I see what you're at now. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's like, yeah, everybody is different, bro. Like, we're all different learners, like you said. Like, some are visual, some are audio, some got to speak it out. You know, like shit. The conversation we had with me, you, and Ray about OnlyFans girl want to jump on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so originally my mindset was, okay, one of our goals is to use powerful words for the titling of the episode. I'm thinking OnlyFans would be a bomb-ass title. Like, you gonna search that shit up and find our episode, no problem. But then they got to the point of like, okay, I understand that, but where is she about? And I'm like, I did kind of skip over a lot of that, huh? She is pretty toxic.
And then also, it's
like that.
Then I was also, my point was like harping on like, well, what is she about? But then also, is this in line with the podcast vision? Like, if putting OnlyFans, I understand it gets the attraction. Like, people can search that up. I 100% agree. I want to. If we were doing any other podcast, I'd be like, fuck it. Yeah. But it was like,
was this line up for? Yeah, and like you said, my mindset at the time wasn't, is it line up or not? My mindset was, how do we blow up bigger? How do we get bigger? You know what I'm saying? But then like you said, it took them a while to explain it to me. By the time they got to me, I was like, oh, because then once I did what they told me to do, that shit came clear as crystal, and I was like, oh, you guys are right. You know what I'm saying? Who made this bet? Yep, okay, bet. Who bet you want to shake her ass on camera? Bet, you won, because you were right. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I guess one of my next questions is then, I think we kind of been discussing already, but maybe go more in depth on it. What needs to be done to go from that difficult to they're just different mindset?
It's really just that compromising on your way of life or whatever, or like the way that you like to do things, and then like making a conscious effort, as Donovan was saying, is like, because like, you're gonna be the way that you are, but like we've been saying too, sometimes you just have to adjust a bit, right? To acclimate to other people and to be able to have functioning relationships with other people. Because like when you were talking about tutoring your nieces and all that, like it just reminded me of like the stereotypical like black family, like when one of your parents
1 + 1 is 2.
No, so 2 + 2 is what? 2 + 2 is how much? Don't use your fingers. Yeah. You know, it's like people don't function like that. So it's like you have to compromise, like with because like the way that you retire isn't gonna work for everybody, and the way that you do things isn't gonna work for everybody. But you don't have to completely sacrifice the way that you like to do things. But you do have to make a conscious effort to at least compromise on certain things.
I was gonna say the compromise plus the empathy thing too, because don't forget that some people kind of view you as difficult in some states or in some ways, or that same person that you're viewing as difficult may see you as difficult, and it's like, okay, do I understand that I can be different as opposed to somebody else, and that shit works vice versa. So it's like, okay, they're just different. They're just different. I won't try to let them get on my nerves, and I'll try to work with them and compromise with them because I understand that they're different and I'm different, and sometimes we just don't click on that wavelength. But I'll just have that heart for them, and then also have that heart for yourself, right? Because I'm pretty sure there's sometimes where you like people just view you as difficult, and you're just different, and one of those is not a non-negotiable for you. That is literally just how your brain is wired. So have that compassion, have that empathy for yourself, and just like understand that like, hey, this is just the way I am. And I feel like that kind of stays in line with who you are as a person and your understanding of that, and then also not letting yourself get like necessarily like pushed around or attacked for being difficult. And just understanding that you're different, and then I feel like that just kind of hardens your skin a little bit from the outside, and then also just has that compassion for people for when you're viewing them as difficult and having that more patience, like having more patience with them.
Yeah, I think there is like, I think this got brought up in one of the other episodes that I was on, but it was having like hard lines and soft lines. Yeah. So like there's hard lines, like you were saying, the non-negotiables and stuff like that. Like I'm not going past this point. Like I'm not doing that. Right. But there's certain soft lines. It's like I don't like to do these kinds of things, but I'm willing to do it. Right. Stuff like that.
Yeah. No, and I fully agree with that. That boundaries you gotta have. You know what I'm saying? Like, we playing football. You can smack my butt. That's it though. We ain't going past that. You know what I'm saying? We're not going past this line. Ain't no farther than this. You know what I'm saying? But when you said that was an example that came to my mind, like the idea of like, they playing football, high fives, and hey, good game, baby. And it's okay. don't do that shit again, though. We're not going past this line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or it's like, you know, you can yell at me all you want to, or shit, females like that. You yell at me all you want to, but second you call me a bitch, I'm beating your, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, that's their hard line, and you gotta respect their hard line, because once you go that word, that's when they feel disrespected now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they like the loudness, but second you call them out their name, now there's disrespect now. Now it's personal, you know what I'm saying?
And that's their difference,
Yeah, so that's why I think that lays my thing. I think, you know, take that step back, you know what I'm saying, and just realize what's going on, and, you know, analyze the issue that's happening here. You know, like, you know, my coworker, shout out Tiffany, you know, when I was first, like, teaching her how to do stuff, I'd be like, damn, she got hella questions. But my thing was I'm not realizing is as I'm going through explaining stuff, I'm connecting the dots already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the dots are already connected for me, but she has to figure out how to connect the dots herself on her end. So it's like, you know, we working on a new spreadsheet right now, and I'm like, the spreadsheet gonna do this, that, and the third. Oh, this is what I wanted to do. But then it's helpful now to understand how she thinks and how she works things out. It's like, okay, that would be good to add, because now that's more data, that's more information, that's more this, down the third to make stuff more clearer. You know,
that was brought up because she had to ask those different questions.
Because she had to ask a different question, it's made it clearer, and it's like, oh, now I can make the spreadsheet even better now compared to what it would have been if I would have did it. Because if I would have did it, it would just been, you know, I can explain the hell out the spreadsheet, but somebody just walking in and looking at it will be confused compared to the way she explained it or the way she needs it to be done. Anybody can now walk in and understand it, you know what I'm saying, at a better level they can, you know. Yeah, it's probably still some stuff that you have to be on the in crowd to understand, but at the same time, shit, we got our flow down, you know. So yeah, I think that was beautiful though, you know, to step back, acceptance, have compassion, you know what I'm saying, understand that, you know, everybody's not like you, you know what I'm saying, everybody can't learn the game the way you do, you know.
I think that's I think that the big part, what you just said, was like, everybody's not like you. And I feel like once you understand that, then you have that compassion for when you come across like difficult situations with other people, and just understanding that there's just a difference of viewpoints.
Exactly. Like for me, example, you know, I'm not a hard arguer, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna sit here and yell at the top of my lungs for nobody, you know what I'm saying, like, I've seen that too much in my life, and I'm to the point like, I don't have to, if I have to yell to get a point across, it's not a point right there, you know? But then people are like, oh, you soft. No, I just don't believe it's worth it, you know what I'm saying? It's not worth me getting out of character and doing all this stuff just to whatever the hell it is, be macho or whatever like that. Like, I can use my words in a calm, clear manner, and we can still get the same point across, you know? So, yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Anything else you guys want to jump on this idea, this topic?
I don't think so. I think we covered most of it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I feel like, you know, it's a pretty interesting topic. Like I said, I just think it's something that people don't think about a lot, though. The idea that, you know, oh, this person's difficult, this person is a headache, this person makes me mad. But it's like, no, they're just different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put your shoe on, you put your right shoe on first, they put their left one on first, you know, like, we all just a little bit different, you know. But so then is there a quote, or actually what you guys still swimming to when it comes to differences and understanding people?
I would say not too sure if this like is just achievable, because like we're humans and there's just a natural human nature about things. But I would just like to get rid of that, like, those initial judgmental thoughts that come across when dealing with like different people. Because like, you know, I navigate it pretty well. I don't really jump the gun on anything or something like that. But I would like to not have like those toxic thoughts kind of like ruminating in my head sometimes when dealing with a certain person. Like, which I was glad when I went to that diversity training, because it was like, okay, well, now it's a little bit easier to decloud all of that stuff in my brain when I'm hearing all of this stuff. But that's probably my next goal in terms of that. And then also for myself, realizing that I am different, and that will stop the people pleasing, not making myself more difficult, but also just being more of myself, and accepting my differences as opposed to the outside world.
I love it.
So I think mine kind of touches on like what your second one is, and it's like understanding like more of my hard lines and my soft lines on shit, and then expanding those soft lines a little bit more so that I'm like at least a little bit more comfortable like doing the things that I don't particularly like to do, you know?
Right.
So like at the end of the month, right? My friend Sam is actually coming out here that weekend, but we're doing, like, normally I would just want to do like the game nights and stuff like that, or like go get something to eat, but he wanted to go out to Red Rock and everything like that.
For like a hike or something?
Like take pictures and shit like that, so yeah.
Okay.
But like I usually don't do outdoorsy shit, but I was like, you know what, fuck it, like he's coming out to town, so let's go. Yeah, let's go do it. So doing more shit like that is like doing more things that I don't necessarily like to do or I wouldn't do on my own, but doing it because other people like to do it, or like being a little bit more compromising on certain things.
Oh, beautiful. You spoke to my heart just now. That's my mindset too. It's the same time, like the idea of just, you know, stepping out my bubble and always doing what I want to do, because, you know, at the end of the day, nigga, I pay all my own bills and cook all my own meals and all that shit. So it's like at some point I'm like, no, I'm good, I don't want to come over there. But then it's a lot of times it's like, you know what, this isn't for me though. You know, let me just go help out. And I feel like I did that great this weekend. You know, my cousin, she needed somebody to pull blood for her, draw blood, and I was like, shit, you doing school, I'll come support you. I hate needles. I don't want to get poked by no needles, but at the same time, if you need somebody to practice drawing blood on, I got you. You know what I'm saying? You can use my body.
Right.
You know, grandma thing, you know, I love my family, but sometimes I don't like being around all my aunties, and, you know, the cousins and stuff. Sometimes you're like, oh, I just need a break, but at the same time, it's like, no, this ain't for me though. This is for my grandma.
Yeah.
She wants to see all her family in one room, so it's like, let me cut my hair and show my grandma some love. You know what I'm saying? Then that comes with the family, comes with the family.
So I'll also tag that onto mine too, and then just with the addition of like not being so stressed out about it.
Yes,
like,
exactly. Let it go.
Because like the whole week, well, in tandem with the car problems, and then, you know, just feeling exhausted last week and all of that stuff, and I knew grandma's birthday was coming up and we still had the gym and all of that. I was just like, bro, I'm just tired and I know it's going to be a busy week, and then I got another busy week coming up. I'm just but, you know, fuck it, like, you know, it is what it is.
It's almost like changing your mindset to it, because a lot of times when you're dreading it, you make it worse.
You make it worse than it actually is.
I mean, instead of just being like, damn, I'm tired, but let's go. Let's try to have a good time. Like, have a drink or something. Like, chill out, talk to some. You know, like, just have if you have a better mindset about it, then it won't be as bad as you think it is.
Nah, bro. Look, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with that one. So you probably don't even realize I was there. Well, I don't know if you did, Ice, but so at the event, you know what I'm saying, my uncle that, you know, Uncle Bunch, you know, I just hate when he always want to touch on me and, yo, nephew, give me a hug and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. I hate it.
Yeah.
But it was a part during the night we was all just sitting around the fire wasn't lit, but the fire was there, the fireplace. We all just sitting outside watching the game, and he started talking about the podcast, and he was like, man, it's beautiful. Y'all just so positive, and the beats, and I see you, nephew. He was talking to Donovan, but I'm sitting right here, and I was just listening the whole time. You almost made me cry. I'm like, I need to hear that, Unc. Like, I really need to hear that right now. And it coming from your mouth out of everybody just feels so good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just something about it felt different.
I saw it because it was like, he was talking about the whole night, and I'm like, usually, I feel bad for saying it, but like, usually that's the one dude that I try to avoid. Because again, he always pull up on you, and you just have that little, like, smirk. He's like, oh man, you know,
look how big you got, boy. You a monster, ain't you? Yeah.
And they gotta be like overly rough, especially because y'all big now.
Yeah. But it's like, then he sat down. He's like, yo, I'm gonna pick your brain. I'm like, and I don't know if you saw me, because I was just kind of like, I was trying not to hold a closed body language, but I was just like, I gotta sit through this. Like, I really want to just get up and go. But then he was talking, and I was like, literally in my mind, I was like, yo, this is the one time, just like, listen to him. Just listen to him. Just like, hear him out. Let's talk to him. And then it was beautiful. I was like, and you know, he sees all the positive things, and he was trying to, like, I was just waiting for his questions and stuff, and I was like, you know, doing so many good things. I was like, yeah, I mean, but honestly, it comes at a cost. Like, it's not always as pretty as it is, but like, you know, I appreciate you for saying that. Yeah. Because that means a lot. Yeah. Like, yo, you really paying attention like that to what we try to do and stuff for the podcast, or, you know, the positivity that, like, we bring to, you know, the world. Yeah. So I was like, man, okay. Now, that was one of the Saturday was a good day.
Saturday was a beautiful day, bro. From start to finish, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't replace Saturday for the world. Like, shit, me and Jessica drove all the way to South Point to go bowling. And the bowling lanes, there's only half the bowling lanes, the other half's construction. I'm like, shit, we just sat here and had some drinks at the bar and chilled. This Saturday was a beautiful day, bro. From start to finish, I loved it. So, yeah, yes. But the little things like that, like the idea that it was somebody who I always find difficult, somebody who I'm like, man, I avoid.
Great example.
You know what I'm saying? I avoid, like, when he at the house, it's like, damn. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's like damn. His kids, and he's like, you hear him walk in the house, and it's like, oh, I'm staying upstairs.
Yeah, real talk. I'm staying upstairs. I'm about to go outside. Look, I remember when I was wrestling in high school. He tried to show me a move, nephew, but I put him on his back so fast. Like, it was one of those, like, opportunity found. You know, like,
target acquired.
Target acquired. I've been waiting for this my whole life. But yeah, nah, that's what it was, though. Somebody we always see so difficult and whatever, and it's like, nah, he's not difficult. He's just a little different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's just a little different, because at the end of the day, he still got a heart. He see what we doing, and he just love his family. You know what I'm saying? He show a little different ways, you know, but he loved his family, bro.
It was humbling, for sure.
Yeah. So then, based off all the 3 tips we had, I would say, you know, shit, like you said, realize people are human too, bro. Like, a lot of people are just human too, and they're just doing what they gotta do, and they just acting out their life the way they are, you know what I'm saying? They're playing their role to the best way they can play it, you know?
I was gonna say, I know you was about to ask if we had any quotes.
Yeah, perfect.
I just thought, like, yo, be human, but also let other people be human.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love that. Be human, let other people be human. Like, stop trying to change people or expect people to do this or twist this arm to make this happen. Like, just let them be them. You know, if there's something that concerns you, speak up. Yeah. You know, but then at the same time, Joe said, you gotta learn to compromise too. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn that it's not all about you. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, you gotta go sit through that movie that you don't want to watch. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes her happy. Or you gotta go to that game where the kids, nobody makes a basket. You know what I'm saying? It's all air balls the whole game, but that made your niece feel loved and supported. So go to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see it all the time out there on the flag football field. Like, it's deep when I think about it. I never put 2 together, but a lot of times, you know, I'm playing with the peewees. These kids are from 4 to 7. Can't focus to save their life. There are no plays we're running. There's not no first down. It's literally, Johnny, you hand the ball to Bill. Bill, you run to the touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Literally, that's it. They mamas and daddies out there treating like the Super Bowl. They got their cameras out. They getting the kids doing highlights. Let me see you flex. You know, because it's hyping their kid up, making them feel good. And it's like, yeah, they're human too. They're just here to support. It's cold as hell out here. I know they cold because they got blankets on them. But they out here just enjoying the time because their kids enjoying the time. So it's like, yeah, they realize they're human too and they need some fun. You know what I'm saying? I can't just drag them around to the beauty salon and have them watch me get my nails done and shit. Like,
every single time.
Every single time. Like, no, let him enjoy life, you know? So, yeah, I love that, and I think you know, to just touch on that quote would be you know, you're one of one. You know, none like you, none before you to come, none like you, and none to come that are just like you. You know what I'm saying? You're one of one. Like Dr. Pepper, that's my favorite stuff from Dr. Pepper. One of one. There's nobody like you. You know, so yeah, that the idea there's nobody like you. Think about that with the next person. There's nobody like him. There's nobody like him. There's nobody like her. There's nobody like him. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it helps you see people as humans a lot better. You know, they're all made in their own special way. You know, you can have 40 brothers and sisters, and y'all different. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think that's beautiful. Gerald, you got a quote you want to end us with, bro?
I don't really know if it's like a quote, but it's just something to think about. It's just like everybody is here in the same space, just trying to figure out this shit called life. Like we're all just trying to figure it out. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna mess up sometimes, and yeah, you're gonna be difficult sometimes, but like that's just everybody. Everybody's gonna be that way. But as long as you know that everybody's just here trying to figure this shit out, then you're more likely to compromise, and you're more likely to do the things that you should do, and help some other people out in the process.
Exactly. Beautiful, bro. That's why don't be mean to your drive-through people. You know what I'm saying? I understand that he might be a little slow with the microphone, but shit, he trying to make money like you trying to make money. You know what I'm saying? He working while you at lunch. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, be nice to people. Be nice to the waitress. Be nice to the janitor. You know what I'm saying? Be nice to that kid that's outside asking for money to donate to his football team. Like,
they're breathing just like you.
They're breathing just like you, and they're trying to do the same things you trying to do, trying to live happy and live the best they can. You know what I'm saying? To get where they want to be, wherever that could be. We all want to get somewhere different. We all trying to get there. So,
right.
Yeah. So yeah, fellas, I think that was a beautiful topic, beautiful conversation. Definitely a nice way to end it. Any last words, anybody?
Yurt.
G.
Yo.
Appreciate you for another great episode, brother. Thank you for coming in. Like you said, on such short notice.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I'm getting that down.
Anytime for y'all, anytime.
Arigato.
Got it.
Yes, appreciate that. Bros, appreciate you for another great episode. You know what I'm saying? Another fire beat as always.
Of course.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
you already know that playing right now. Like in the beginning, that's all right.
Yes, and then
That's all I got to say.
we already talked about this in the pre-roll, but if you haven't signed up for your free Audible account, please sign up for it. You know what I'm saying? All you have to do is go to the link in the bio, hit the link, sign up for your free 30 days, and I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. If you just want to do that just to support the podcast, I would appreciate that, because every time you sign up, we get a little $15, and we're going to use that for new equipment. We just got new wires today. And if you don't even care about Audible, sign up and cancel your membership. Do what you got to do to save you some money, you know what I'm saying? But just doing that little thing is showing great support to us, and we truly appreciate that.
Please share it too. Like if you know
Yes.
somebody that loves to like read or just like listen to audiobooks or podcasts or anything, just
Yes.
hand it out. Please just spread it. We're just trying to.
Yeah, just spread it.
Yeah.
Tell them. Literally tell them. Sign up, cancel. If you got to. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I just want to help us grow a little more and get us to the next level, you feel me? Mm-hmm. Yes. But with all that being said, I hope you guys had a wonderful day, a marvelous afternoon, a splendid evening, and remember to just keep
Swimming.
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 All backstroke. All backstroke. No butterfly.